coming up. Governments are making gigantic mistakes. Corporations are making huge mistakes based on fear and greed at this particular point. We don't need to be privy to that. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to be in our own financial situations that are not run by governments or other things, because, again, you can see how the governments are going under. We need to be in physical gold, silver, and diamonds, which we'll talk about later in the show. On top of that, you want to be in cash. You want to pay down your debts, and you do not want to speculate in these markets. You'll get through these difficult times, and we anticipate, as I've always said, 90% of the money is made by 10% of the people. All I want is for my clients and listeners to this radio show to be in that 10% and come out of this in a good way. And so far, it's worked like a dream.
The telephone number to invest in precious metals, 1-866-623-2002, 1-866-623-2002. There's only one company that Harold recommends that you deal with. They've been in business for over 10 years, a Canadian company that has been through all the ups and downs of this market. I know we stress that, but it's very important that you deal with people who have the experience. This is all they do. They specialize in precious metals. The telephone number is 1-866-623-2002. Their name is Worldwide Precious Metals. The website, wwpmc.com. As we touched on off the top of the show, Harold has been doing the radio show since right after 9/11. And he was making predictions back then that people thought were absolutely crazy. They thought he was crazy. And he's been exactly 100% right. Now we're starting to see copycat shows. People that are copycatting what Harold and I have been doing for 9-10 years. I've been doing the show with him for 9 years. Harold's been doing it for 10 years. There are people that are copycatting our show. They're talking about metals, talking about diamonds. They've sprouted up out of the woodwork here in the last few years. Obviously, go with the people that you trust, the people that have been around recommending this from the very beginning. And Harold has made solid recommendations throughout the full 10 years. Invest with Worldwide Precious Metals. That's the company that Harold recommends you use. 1-866-623-2002. The website, wwpmc.com. As Harold said, we'll talk about diamonds a little later. In our newsletter this week, in the gold section, a great story. And it's something that I know a lot of people may hear and think, really? Yes, really. Gold prices may reach $6,200 per ounce in this bull run, which will end all major bull runs, according to Urs Giemer, an asset manager at Dolphin, a Swiss investment advice firm. He told CNBC, he was on CNBC, Giemer's prediction is based on analysis of the last major gold boom of the 70s, during which gold prices rose from $35 per ounce to $850 per ounce. Giemer said that in the current bull run, prices would be pushed upwards by a protracted period of global economic difficulty, potentially lasting years, during which investors would continue to search for so-called safe havens. Gold prices have risen over the last few years as the macroeconomic picture has become worse. And it's a bad picture, to say the least. The deterioration of the fundamental situation has now gone even further. Purchases by investors of gold will be based on fears of systemic risk or banking crashes, Giemer says. The investment manager says that as no safe currencies remain, cautious investors had no choice but to opt for precious metals, the ultimate currency, which has stood the test of time, which has no political support behind it, and obviously that is gold. Nobody can print gold out of a machine or a PC. And he says what the Swiss National Bank did 2.5 weeks ago, increasing the supply of the Swiss franc, means the safe currencies are all gone. That's why gold will be obviously have a major revival. Giemer said the precious metals has entered a super cycle, which he likened to the 1998-2000 boom in technology, and telecommunications. He added this bull trend will end all the other major bull markets and singled out debt capital as an asset class for which demand and prices would decline. However, Jemer denied that high and rising gold prices could be indicative of a bubble. If everyone is saying a particular asset is in a bubble, that reflects the fact that most people have disposed of it, he said. Other calculations indicate the gold price could peak at $3,500 to $4,000 an ounce. This is based on historical data regarding the long-term ratio of gold prices to global money supply. That article is in our newsletter. If you'd like to get our newsletter, call us at 1-866-623-2002. Now, what exactly did he say about silver? He actually said silver could top, get ready now, $600. Silver is set for an even greater upward run than gold, with the market due to corrected distortion in its pricing of silver in relation to gold. Gold and silver currently trades at a ratio of around 43-44 to 1. Jemer said declining silver output over the last 60 years as a result of inventory depletion and mine closures means silver supplies currently outnumber gold by a ratio of less than 10 to 1. Thus indicating a market correction is due. Once this occurs, Jemer says silver prices would settle at 6%. He actually said 6.7% to 10% of gold prices. That implies that if gold reaches $6,200 per ounce, silver could reach $620 per ounce. And Harold, we have about 2 minutes left in this segment. Obviously, very aggressive numbers, but I don't think it's necessarily out of the realm of possibility. If you take a look at what's happening historically, you look at the numbers, the money that's out there being printed by governments. The Swiss franc used to be safe. It's no longer safe. They're debasing their currency now. People will move into precious metals as we continue forward.
Oh, you better believe it. And again, we said the same thing about gold when it was at $35. If you said gold was going to $850 when it was at $35, people would have looked at you like you were crazy. Silver was $1.25. It's going to go to $50. And then palladium. It went from $90 all the way up to $1,100. So to see gold, at $8,000 or $10,000, or see silver at $500 or $600 doesn't surprise me at all. In actual fact, I believe we're going to hit very close to those numbers also. Our number for silver on a conservative basis is $150 to $200, and I'm sure that we're going to see higher than that. So again, with the right situations, heavy inflation, obviously the world problems that we're seeing right now, and shortages in gold and silver, there's no doubt in my mind we're going to see numbers similar to that.
One thing to keep in mind, when we have a week where we see gold go up $50 or maybe it's down $50, back when gold was $500, that would be a major move. But when you have gold at $1,800, $1,900 closing in on $2,000, keep in mind, a $20 move up or down is only 1%. $40 is roughly 2%. So you see that happen in the stock market all the time. When the numbers get bigger, and this will be the same for silver, as the numbers get bigger, we will see bigger swings up or down, but that is definitely not a negative. To invest in precious metals, the website is www.pmc.com. The telephone number is 1-866-623-2002. There's only one company Harold recommends. That is Worldwide Precious Metals. They've been in business the full 10 years of this bull market. They're the people to deal with, and they'll be happy to send out our free weekly newsletter free of charge to you by email every week. Get your name on the list. Come back and we'll talk more about the financial markets and diamonds as the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall, continues right after this. Welcome back to the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show on September the 9th, 2011 at 9:07 in the morning. That is Mountain, 11:07 Eastern. Radio show runs on 630 CHED in Edmonton, AM 640 in Toronto. If you ever miss a radio show, the shows are archived at Harold's website, hesradio.com, hesradio.com. And yes, it's been 10 years that Harold has been doing this radio show. He started doing it shortly after 9/11. This Sunday is the 10th anniversary of 9/11. hard to believe that 10 years has gone by so quickly, and we remember all those people that were taken from us on 9/11, and those have been affected since. To invest in precious metals, the telephone number 1-866-623-2002, the website wwpmc.com. This is the only company that Harold recommends that you use worldwide precious metals, wwpmc.com. Telephone number 1-866-623-2002. Yes, there have been some Johnny-come-latelys, some knockoff radio shows copying us come up out of the woodwork here in the last few years. Harold does not recommend those people deal with worldwide precious metals, wwpmc.com, 1-866-623-2002. It was 5 years ago that Harold brought to our attention rare-colored diamonds. And he started a website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, and it's really back then, his website was pretty much almost the only one out there for rare-colored diamonds. And you talk about rip-offs and knockoffs, a lot of people have now suddenly jumped into this business as well, but there's only one person who has the connections and contacts and deals with the top cutters of the world, and that is Harold Siegel. He is the top diamond broker in the world when it comes to rare diamonds, fancy colored diamonds. You can take a look at his website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. It has the historical value tracker system. It's a tool for you to view the potential future value of a rare colored diamond based on the current market trend of a particular type of diamond. That is proprietary. Harold came up with that first. Some other people tried to rip it off. Once again, another rip-off artist. Also, some interesting interviews with Harold from BTV. We have those in our newsletter. They're also on Harold's website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. The featured diamond of the week, and this is a beautiful yellow diamond. It's a 2.75 carat cushion cut, fancy intense yellow, internally flawless diamond. The color is a very strong, intense yellow, and the cushion cut makes it actually look like it's over 3 carats. It is a massive, massive diamond. Yellow flawless diamonds are a great investment, and with inflation looming, you'll definitely want to have this diamond as part of your investment portfolio, your diamond portfolio. It is a must-have. You can see it in the newsletter. It is a big, fat, yellow diamond. And Harold, since you've been talking about diamonds over the last 5 years, it is amazing. Similar to the metals. In the beginning, people said, this guy's crazy, and now everyone is copying you. A lot of copycats and knockoffs, but the truth is, and I can say this, since you've been doing the show for 10 years, there's only one Harold Siegel, and he's the guy to deal with.
Thank you very, very much, Randy. That's wonderful of you to say. I got to say, we made some pretty amazing predictions over the last 10 years, and many have done very well for our clients. This is one that I'm most proud of because, again, nobody knew about these. I've been in the investment business for 35 years. I've been through the inflationary times of the 79 and 80 period, and I've seen what happened with gold at $35 and silver at $1.50. And, again, I've seen what happened with diamonds during inflation. And that's something that most people didn't even know or even consider, that diamonds are a tremendous hedge against inflation. And again, one of the major reasons that I've recommended hard assets to our listeners is because I'm so convinced that inflation is going to be the number one problem that we're going to have to deal with down the road. Now, diamonds are it's a longer-term investment because, again, this situation is longer-term. But in 1979 and 80, when we had high inflation, 20% interest rates, and everything going that route, we saw diamonds, colored diamonds, go up 500% in 2 years. How do you do any better than that? A diamond that cost you $20,000 was worth $100,000 within 2 years. And we're starting to see similar situations happening in the markets again. Again, I watch these markets very, very closely, and I look for signs that tell me that we're going to see certain scenarios that happened years ago. And again, we're certainly seeing it in the diamond market. In fact, nobody ever talked about diamonds as investments prior to our radio show, and now Argyle is talking about it, and De Beers is talking about it, and the top brokers in the world are talking about diamonds, and hedge funds are starting to buy them, and, you know, there's just not that many around. But these are assets like yellow flawless diamonds. The diamond that we're showing as the featured diamond this week is a spectacular diamond. You know, only one diamond in 15 million is 3 carats or over. Now, this is right around 3 carats, but the fact is that it's also yellow, fancy yellow, which is a magnificent color. Fancy intense yellow, and it's also flawless. makes this diamond very, very valuable. And these diamonds do nothing but go up in price. During times of high inflation, again, they went up 500% in 2 years, and we anticipate the exact same situation happening. We know that in the United States, they're not going to raise interest rates for 2 years. That means that we're going to see low interest rates, and we're going to see a weak dollar, and we're going to see substantially higher prices in hard assets, and diamonds are one of those assets that will just continue to skyrocket in price. So